Hello, everybody. What's up? That time again. Time to go to work. Alrighty. It's 121. 79 degrees outside. Kind of breezy. Who's in here? Anybody in here yet? No, nobody in here yet. Be right back. Okay, who's in here? Who's in here? Hello, everybody. Don't forget to give the thumbs up. Hello, whoever's here. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Got a little person in here. Silent. Avocados. 20 avocados for $5. It's a good deal. Love them avocados. Well, 124 here. It's 80 degrees outside. Here in California. Going to work today. So how's everybody doing? Yeah, so I remember in high school, the high school that we were in, supposedly there's ghosts in the football field because supposedly back in I think it was in the 60s, they had these four cheerleaders. They were in a convertible, and they kind of had an accident. They all pretty much got killed on the way to a football game at the high school. So supposedly they haunt the football field. They say the school too, but I don't know. I went to school there, and also with security, did security in that school also. You know, I mean, you hear noises, but I mean, usually you can find out what the noises are. It's kind of like when I worked at the hospital. They said there was ghosts in one of the areas, one of the old areas. That was the old pediatrics. So, they said that there was a ghost there, a little boy that used to play with a ball. And I mean, there's been other like maintenance people that worked in that area. One time there was this maintenance guy. He was working in an area like in a restroom, and he had I think it was a vacuum or something connected, and somebody disconnected the vacuum from the wall. And the thing is, in that area, there's two ways in, two ways out. But you can hear when somebody goes in and out of the area. There's no way that somebody's going to get out of the door and not make any noise. So the maintenance guy, he was working, and then the thing was disconnected, and he went and checked, and it was disconnected. He looked around, nobody goes. He thought at first maybe one of the guys that works with him too was playing a joke on him. But he looked, couldn't find anybody. So he went back to work, plugged it back in, and it happened again. The plug got disconnected. So he goes around, looks everywhere, and there was only like 3 rooms in that area. Yeah, there was only 3 rooms in that old pediatrics. You could put maybe like 3 or 4 patients in each room because they were, kept working. Then he told everybody what happened, and they're like, oh, there's a little kid that plays with a ball. And then you walk down the old, it was called North Wing. You walk down that one, and when they would close it because they didn't have enough patients to fill the hospital. They were all in the new part of the hospital, and the old part they pretty much closed it off, no patients. But I mean, we started to walk through there, and you'd hear all of a sudden you're walking and the TV comes on, or you hear a creaking noise back and forth, and it's usually either a fan, but the TV coming on, that's or changing channel, coming on and changing channels. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say, what actually caused that. Some lights, I mean, sites would come on, because they had sensors, but there were some rooms that you would in there and the light would come on, but then we found radios, like when we would press the button, the wave, I guess, I don't know how, but it would make the light come on, the sensor. For some reason, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the waves of the radio would make it do it. I mean, I don't know. Or maybe it was a ghost. Who knows? I mean, a lot of people die in the hospital. I mean, every day, pretty much somebody either dies or, So yeah, I mean, working in the hospital was good. You were never bored. You always get the homeless people try to. I would let them go use the bathroom, and it's in the summertime. I would tell them, just do your business. Don't make a mess. If you make a mess, that's it. You're not gonna be allowed on the property anymore. So they kind of understood. They go use the restroom. Did their business, clean themselves up. You know, as long as they didn't mess up the bathroom. Make a mess or do drugs. Because yeah, we did get a couple that we caught them in there doing drugs. Shooting up, and then the problem is, I mean, not the shooting up, but they leave the needle, and then some little kid's gonna go in there and use the restroom and get poked by it and get infected by whatever they have, which is not good. So we'd always make sure that nobody would be in there. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so it was you just kind of understand, let them get water, whatever they needed, use the restroom. But then they had to go, because the hospital, you know people didn't want them around. So we would have to ask them to leave, nicely. They usually did, and they weren't. I mean, you would get some that kind of get aggressive, but then you just tell them, look, you either go or we're gonna end up having to call the police, and then they're gonna take you out of here. And they didn't want any problems with it. They would, but yeah, I mean, you know, but yeah, I mean, I did that for, oh man, I think it was like 4 or 5 years. Then I went to a different hospital. Worked there also for about 2 more years. You know, I mean, when you work security. You work different things all the time. Welcome whoever's here. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Check out everybody else's channels who's in here. Yeah, I kept. Gotta drive safely. These people, they just get in front of you. It's like you got all this room ahead of you, but no, you gotta get in front of me right at the real close. Yeah, so it's not too bad today. It's nice and breezy. Nice. Look at this guy. Jesus. FedEx drivers, jeez. UPS and FedEx drivers, you gotta watch them guys, man. They drive like maniacs. Always in a hurry. Gotta get the packages there. I mean, no matter if you kill somebody. Sorry about that. I guess it was a bad connection here. Unless there's a site, where there's, really, really boring, like you're just watching a pump that they pull water out of the canal, nothing around but dirt and desert, hello, welcome, whoever's coming in. Yeah, please connect with everybody that's in the chat. Hit the like button. Yeah, a lot of traffic today for a Monday. Yeah, not too bad. It's not that many clouds. These people driving so slow. Probably got somebody driving real slow in front of me. They're in the fast lane and they don't want to move. Like, I mean, at least go the speed limit. Speed limit 65. I mean, when the trucks are even going faster than you are, you're going too slow. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, then I remember, like when I was talking about my freshman year. We had that teacher that she was all mad at us. Her name was Mrs. Chapman, Casey. We used to call her Casey in the Sunshine Band, and she was the reading teacher. And she was all mad at us because she was sick and she was out for 4 days, and then she had to come back on the fifth day because nobody nobody wanted to take her class. Because we had a different substitute every day for the last four days, and they were all the guys in the classroom were just driving crazy, and they didn't want to come back to that classroom. You know, there was a bunch of misfits in there, I guess. Kind of like almost like what is it, the Breakfast Club, you know. And I mean, it was funny because in that classroom there was a guy that was a senior, and I mean, I met him. He was a nice guy, but he liked, you know doing making trouble. So then later on I find out, because that was when I was like, let's see, I would have been, I think I would be like 14. Let's see, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, I'd be like 13 or 14 years old, and then when I turned like 19, I met my girlfriend, which is my wife now. She was 16 at the time. Then I found out that the guy that was in that classroom, he was her brother. So it's like, oh man. She goes, oh yeah, she knew you. She's all telling me, yeah, my brother knew you. He was in your class. You know, and you always say you were real innocent. I'm like, well, I mean, I wasn't really a troublemaker, but I guess I kind of was in the class with all the bad guys, so they figured I guess I was one of them too. But yeah, so I met her, and it was on a phone call. When you call 1 year, this was back in like in the 80s, when you used to call the phone, call what time it was. We dial a certain number, and then the lady would answer and would say the time will be 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the tone, and it would beep, and then you could set your clocks to it. That way it was always, so you'd always call there. But then one day, I guess it rained. It rained real hard. Rained real bad outside, and then all of a sudden the rain, it messed up the phone line. So here, you call the phone and there's no lady there. Like, what the heck? But then you hear other people going, hey, hey, and then everybody starts talking in there for like maybe a couple seconds. But then it got to the point where it was real bad that you would go on there and you could be on there for minutes, and you could hear other people talking. They're all like, hey, hey, my phone number is this and this. So I'd call and give my phone number in there, and then they would call me. And then I'd be getting phone calls. At the time I was by myself at the apartment, and then later on my grandma came home, and then she's all like, "What's all these phone calls?" Because all day the phone was ringing off the hook, night and day. And then all these girls were calling me and asking for me, and they're like, "Hey, is he there? Is he there?" And I was like, so I'd be talking to people all night, talk to all these different girls, groups of girls sometimes. And then one time, it was the girl that I met, which was my girlfriend, which is my wife now. So I started talking to her, and she started talking and this and that, she wants to meet me and this and that. So she's all like, yeah, I'm at this school, oh, okay, yeah, I know where that's at, so come and meet me at a certain time, lunchtime, so I go and meet her, and talk to her, really, we hit it off. So she really liked me. So then we ended up dating. I think we dated for about a year, and then her dad was very strict, so she really couldn't go out. She only could go out, she would sneak out pretty much. I would drive like by where she lived and then park in the street and then she'd sneak out the window, and jump the fence and then go meet me out there. And then we go park somewhere, and make out, But I mean, so she's like, and then she kept, she wanted me to get her out of the house, run, like, yeah, I mean, she was, I could get in trouble, and then she got older, and then we kind of weren't together because I moved up north, and I was like about 9 hours away, but I would still call her, on the phone, send her letters, writing her letters and stuff like that. And she'd always do it. She'd always, get mad at me in the phone, you're gonna fool around over there. You're going to find somebody else, I'm too far away, this and that. And then I used to go, no, no. And she would hang up on me, and then I'd call, and then her mom would answer. She's all like, nah, she doesn't want to come to the phone. I'm like, ah. So, yeah, she would constantly do this, just to drive me crazy, of course. And then I kept calling her back, and she'd go, okay, okay, and then and then I'd go visit her when I would get vacation. I'd come back because we have relatives where she lives still, and we'd come and visit, and then I'd see her for a week or two, stuff like that, and then one day, I remember before I left, she like left. She disappeared. It was like, I guess she ran away from home. And then I'm like, oh, and then I called, and then, oh no, we thought she was with you. I'm like, no, she's not with me. I'm like, I'm calling because, I haven't heard from her, and nobody knew where she was. But then they found out where she was. She was living up in the north. With her man. She just wanted to get away from her dad. And stuff. So it was yeah, okay. So she moved up there, and then we kind of. I really wasn't in contact with her when she was up there. She was up there for I think about 2 years, and I guess she met some guy and had a kid with him, but never married him. So she did. I think she did marry some other guy. Yeah, but that guy he was always getting locked up, going to jail, and then she kind of gave him an ultimatum and told him, hey, it's either me or jail. Well, this guy, I guess he decided to pick jail. So she said, okay, well, that's it. It's over. And she ended up, getting a divorce, while when he was locked up in jail, because, I mean, you can get a divorce. All you have to do is put an ad in the local newspaper where he lives. And if he doesn't respond to it, or anything, you basically legally can get divorced. You just go up in front of a judge and go, look, here's the proof. I put an ad telling him I'm divorcing him. He never answered, and this and that. And then if he shows up for court, of course he's not going to show up for court. He was locked up, he was locked up in jail. I mean, he's not gonna show up for court. Can't get out. So she ended up getting a divorce from him. And then later on, I go, well, I called the number. I still had her number, so I said, maybe I'll call her, see if she's still there. See if maybe the number's still the same. Yeah, and it was. I mean, they never changed the phone number, so I kept in touch with her mom. Really liked me. She's like, oh yeah. She was like, she'd always tell her, oh, that guy, you should have stayed with him. All these other guys are idiots. This and that. You know. So she's like telling her all this. She's all like, no, he's not here. He's like far away. So then I told her, hey, I told her I wanted to marry her, but she didn't believe me. And then one day I told her, why don't you come and visit me? I had a 1-bedroom apartment living by myself. I told her, hey, come visit me. I'll and she's all like, wow, I don't know. She don't want to drive that far. So I go, well, then why don't you get on the Greyhound? And I told her, because it's not that far, go in a car. In a car, it's like 9 hours. You can imagine in the Greyhound bus. Yeah, I mean, I didn't tell her, but then she had a transfer in L.A. and then L.A. and then plus she had her son with her. Her son was about let's see, at the time I think he was probably like maybe 5, I think 5 years old, and can you imagine a 5-year-old, for all those hours, on the Greyhound bus, that's crazy. It's like you're gonna go crazy with this kid. So she all like, oh yeah, okay. So she said, I'll go. So she was coming for Christmas, for 2 weeks. So then she took off, like on a Friday, and then she, was driving, like she was on the bus, for hours and hours. I mean, it took over 16 hours, to get there. I think it might have been more, but she was like, oh man, she got there. She left like early in the morning, like I think it was like 6 in the morning or something from where she came. And then by the time she got to where I was at, I mean, it was already nighttime. It was like about 6 at nighttime. So, or even later than that. I think it might have been 8 at nighttime. So she was like, oh, and then I live real close to the Greyhound bus, so and then I had a box of chocolates and some flowers, some dozen roses, and I'm waiting outside of the bus, waiting for her to come down the bus, she's all like, they're standing and she's like, she was so pissed off at me. She's all like, you didn't tell me how long it was, you said it wasn't that far and this and that, and because she didn't get the express bus, she got the one that every stop, that thing takes forever. And then she was mad, and she was like, where's your car at? And I'm like, oh, it's over there. Get the bags. And so I got the bag. She didn't even see the flowers or the chocolate. She just walked right by them. And then she got in the car. And when she got in the car, then I handed her the stuff. I go, hold on to it so I can, drive. And then she's all like, oh, okay, thank you. She was a little bit happier, but she was still mad. And then she got home, and I took her to my apartment. I told her, go take a shower or bath. Go relax. I'll make food. So I made food for her and her son, and then he was playing video games. He was playing the Nintendo. I think it was Nintendo 64. I think it was, the one with the football. Bo Jackson. And then so I'm like, okay, so she was much happier after she relaxed, and ate something. So, but I still had to work, so I would see her, in the morning, I eat breakfast. say bye to her, give her some, she had money with her, but then, go, hey, if you need some money, I'll give you some too, so you could go, because the stores were, the town was right there real close by, So I gave her a copy of the key, for the apartment so she could go in and out. And, so then they went, they went to town, walked around and stuff while I wasn't there. Then I also, pretty much where I worked at that time, I was working at Firestone Tires. There was this gentleman. He worked at a place where they was like a nursery. So they had different kinds of flowers and they had roses, And he used to come in and he used to, give us, come into the shop and bring in his vehicle, and then he would bring us roses to the guys that worked there for their wives or girlfriends, The roses were great. I mean, they had little defects, because they couldn't sell them. There was still nothing wrong with them. They couldn't sell them to the stores because the stores would say, they're terrible. Because they have to at least be perfect at the store, and then once they leave the store, then they're going to start getting brown or messed up a little bit. But they had to be at least perfect. So, these roses they would end up having to throw them away, or when somebody needed like arrangements, they can still use them, where they can still take off some of the flower petals, and it'll still be good. But so then it was during Christmas, so I had a little Christmas tree, and I got her son a present, a couple presents, and I got her a present, a couple presents, and then I got her like a gold chain and locket, where you put like two little pictures in it. And then so she was always real nosy, so and then I put the present under the tree, and then she's all like, almost here, it's almost time for for Christmas, Christmas Eve, and we're gonna open up the presents, and then she's all like, I know what it is. She grabs the little box and then she starts shaking it, and she's all like, I don't know, it sounds like something gold, something like a chain or a little maybe like a locket. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like, you cheated. I go, you looked. I go, you peeked. I go, you there's no way you're gonna guess what's inside the box, So I'm like, and then his son, she told her son, I'll let you open up yours and know what yours is. So, but don't tell him anything. Don't tell him what's, that we did it. And then I told her, she looked at you. He's all like, yeah, he gave her up. I mean, and he's all like, yeah, we peaked. And I'm like, okay, well, it don't matter. I mean, hey, it's okay. It's still a gift, But yeah, so now after that, we never, at Christmas time, we never put any presents out under the tree because, we knew how she was, and my other son and my older son was still at home. And he was like, because she's always all nosy, trying to go open up the presents. So we always hid him somewhere, either in the car or somewhere in the house where she didn't know, and then like take him out like the day, that night before, and hopefully she didn't go in there before we opened them. So yeah, I mean, and then so it was when it was time for her to come home. She was all like, oh man, I don't want to go on the Greyhound, go back all those hours, go back. So I'm like, okay, well, I set up vacation anyways, right after Christmas, because nobody takes, right after Christmas and New Year's. She was there at Christmas, then New Year's, and then right after New Year's, she would have to go home. And so I said, okay, I'll take you home, I'll drive you. I can go that way, we can drive, And then she's like, oh, okay. So shorter, at least, we can stop off, eat somewhere, that way, she didn't have to suffer, all those hours in that thing there. Jeez, look at these guys. Can't wait. Passing. You're not supposed to. I mean, people want to cause accidents. Yeah. So then I drove her home, and dropped her off. And then I was there for 2 weeks, vacation and visit relatives, and then spent two more weeks with her. And then I told her, I'm gonna come back, and then marry her, So yeah, right. She didn't believe me, but then I did. I went back, and the following year I went back and married her. Married her like on the 6th of July. You know, married her on the 6th of July, and so right after 4th of July, then we ended up going to Arizona. Because over there you don't have to. All you have to do is just show up. With some witnesses. And get married. You don't have to do any tests or anything like that. Or where in California there's certain things you have to do. I forget. Sometimes I think you have to do blood tests and all this other stuff. So we got married, and then like the following year, then I just came moved down this way, and that's where I've been since. Living here, and and my older son. He always calls me dad. And, I mean, I raised him since he was like 7 years old. Now he's 30, 35, going to be 36 years old. Married, have our first grandchild. It's good. He lives in LA area. But with this stuff that's going on, we only got to visit him. Maybe like a couple times, and he's visited us a couple times. But now that our grandson's already over. Now he's 2 years old. He's gonna be pretty soon. Next year he'll be 3. He just turned 2 years old not too long ago. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how And then when I remember one time we went when we were up north, and we were living. We went. Oh no, yeah, we went up north. We went to where did we do? Oh yeah, we went to LA. We went to Disneyland, and then and then all of a sudden you meet people that from school. There. And then also we went to San Diego. Or also we went one time to Monterey Bay. Like 9 hours away. Then all of a sudden you see somebody that's from your school, over there too. It's like they say, as they say, it's a small world. You run into people that's from your town. But yeah. So we've been together for a lot of years. I mean, my younger son's 25, gonna be 26. And let's see, my son, he's gonna be 30, 36. So yeah, about 29 years. We've been married 29 years, but I've known her for much longer than that. I mean, I'm 60. When I met her, I was 18 at the time. So she's younger, but I mean, as they say, once you meet somebody that's meant to be, it's meant to be. I mean, it's like it's never, as they say, there's never a perfect marriage. You just have to work at it. Everybody argues. It's always about money. It's always, I can't spend any money, or or you're not having, or you don't make enough. I mean, hey, it's hard. That's why I told my kids, I don't have very much money, but I'm gonna at least give you an education. You're gonna go to school, go to university, get an education. Now they're You know, my older son, he's making probably maybe a hundred a year, you know, 100,000 a year, close to it. You know, my younger one, he's gonna start probably at maybe making 60,000. You know, he's gonna be a school teacher, you know, history teacher. You know, I mean, you know, that's the only thing you can do. You know, and then his girlfriend, you know, she wants to be a nurse. My older son, his wife's a nurse too. You know, so they make good money. They can afford living up there. You know, I mean, you know, it's hard to work nowadays with only one person working. You know, especially with everything going up. I mean, look at gas. Put gas yesterday at the gas station, and there's a Costco. Usually, it's cheaper. I mean, it was $5.49 a gallon. You know, and you know it's going to go up more. I mean, LA, it's already above $7. It's been like that for a while. I mean, it's crazy. You know, people that are now, you know, now I'm making it. It's a little better. You know, I'm not considered, you know, not even middle class yet. Maybe a little, almost getting to middle class. But you know, now everything's going up again, man. They're like it's changed. It's back again. You know, it's like, damn. You know, you're like, oh, you finally made it. It's like, no. The rich people say, nah, you haven't made it. We're gonna put you down again, man. You're not gonna make it. You know, but you still have to work hard, man. It's like, it's not easy. You know, like there's a lot of people on YouTube trying to, make it on YouTube. You know, yeah, YouTube. You know, if you have the followers, and even that, you know, you still. I mean, there's people that have millions of followers. I mean, millions of people. You know, but then how many people are actually looking at your videos and watching the videos all the way through? See, that's the thing. You know, people think, oh, well, you know, I'll make it. You know, get that one video that's gonna, you know, gonna go viral. You know, you're gonna get those millions of views. You know, you're gonna get all those millions of views. You know, yeah, it's not that easy. I mean, yeah, but that's one time. But then once that video hits, then it starts slowing down and you know, going slower. You know, I started watching this lady. She started in she started doing videos. This was in August of 2019, and this lady is like from Mexico, like you know, where pretty much, you know, they got chickens and all kinds of animals. You know, they got their garden and stuff like that. You know, they don't even have their stove is a stove like made out of like adobe. You know, and they put firewood in it. It's got a metal top to it. And basically, she does recipes that you know, she's like in her 60s, I think. And then she, you know, she's doing, you know, recipes. And I was watching when she first started. I started watching her, and she, like, in less than 3 months, she hit 1 million subscribers. I mean, she, like, boom. But then, you know, once the thing with YouTube, yeah, YouTube helps you, and then especially if people like your content, because I mean, she had, you know, 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos, but it was a recipe, you know, recipe from her mom when she grew up, you know, that her mom taught her, you know, and then it's a different recipe. Every video is a different recipe, and you know, she showed you how to do it, and then, you know, she would try it, and you know, it's real good. You know, her daughter would help her videotape, you know, and you know, and edit the videos, you know. But I mean, you know, now I checked recently. You know, this was in August of 2019. So let's see, 19, 20, 21, 22. This year she's going to be on YouTube for 3 years in August. I checked, and she's almost at 4 million subscribers. But and then her videos, she still gets a, good, 200 views, like in her videos, a lot of them, some of them get, 1,000, some get 10,000, but I mean, she's got all those subscribers, and she's continuously doing, even her daughter now, her daughter made her own also, channel, and started doing the same thing, recipes that her mom, and the recipes that she knows how to do, and puts her twist into the food, and yeah, I mean, who doesn't like food? I mean, hey, I every time I see her cooking and making all this food, you're like, oh man, that sounds good, like some carnitas or some enchiladas, she would make, chicken, like mole. I mean, oh man, it was like, all these different kinds of recipes and stuff, it's like, and it's never the same recipe, she always, different ones, food, it's like, she reminded me of my grandma. My grandma used to do the same thing, she would get a recipe, and, it would come out good food, she'd make cakes, she'd make donuts, she would make buñuelos, she would, in fact, I used to deliver the stuff, she'd make, stuff like that, man. She would make donuts, with sugar, sugar on them, and then she had, she had a lot of friends, because she was a senior citizen. So, she would go to the senior citizen place, and she had, she would go, okay, I got a bunch of orders to deliver, in Christmas time, she'd be making, you know, buñuelos and stuff like that, Let's see who's in here. Let's see. Guru is in here. Bud, Top Bola, all that stuff. Oh, Fluff. Hey, Fluff from Australia. Hey, Nicole, what's up? Crazy Chicken. Hey, what's up? Relaxing Nature. Hey, how's it going? Relaxing. Yeah, those chicken. I mean, hey, man, those those things. I mean, it's like, oh man, it's like it's the food that she would make. I mean, it's like, oh man, it's like too bad you don't have smell-o-vision. It's like smell that food that she was making. It was, and then she would do it. In like. Of course she would edit it, because of course it took her longer, but it was, 15-minute videos. I mean, some of her videos are even 30 minutes, and I mean, it's like, oh man, she would, make all kinds of things. Or she'd go to the garden, because she has her own fresh vegetables, and they did have electricity, I do know, because she had a mixer. She had a mixer that to make like salsas and stuff like that, for when she would make, whatever, adobes, for the sauces, into the food that she was cooking. And then she had also had one of those, those stones. She had a stone for making, the salsas also, they come out different, it's a different taste. Even though people think, the blender, no, man, those stones, they're from the lava, they make them, in Mexico. And then she had one that was for tortillas. She had right there the corn tortilla mix. It was already there, and she'd like, with a stone and make it all, and then make it. She didn't even have a rolling pin. Or her daughter had a thing like a press, to press the tortilla and make it. No, she'd like, man, the way she would hit it back and forth with her hands, like that, and it was like she would flatten make a tortilla just going back and forth like that, and then she'd put them in that same big oven, that lid that's got like a big disc on it. That's where she cooked everything. I mean, she is so big you can cook like multiple of things on there. She'd burn the tomatoes and the chilies and everything on there. I mean, it was amazing how it was. But yeah, it was great. So thanks a lot, everybody.
everybody for coming in and giving the thumbs up. Everyone, thank you, thank you, man. Thank you for sticking around, relaxing, and everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're at, or good morning. Thank you for coming in again, and God bless everybody. Have a good one. Till next time. And like I always say, what Keys, my buddy Keys says, say hello to your mama. Tell her you love her because you don't know how long she'll be around. So, everybody, call her up. Bye bye, everyone.